and I'm going to address that with you whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, then at some point I hope you can change, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But just like, you know what I mean? I can't look someone in the face who looks at me and won't say that Black lives matter, because at the end of the day, they don't think that my life matters, or that my kids' lives matter, or that my niece and my
Uh-huh.
nephew lives matter. And they want to, you
Right.
know what I mean? They want to act like we live in some America where everyone's equal all of a sudden. And we know that's
Well, I
our
liked how the start of the article actually addressed and said why, even given the part about when you go for a breast cancer walk. If you went there and you brought up other cancers,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and that's what and that's like probably one of the best analogies and like the most
I
true.
like that one a lot.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous that because I had a conversation with some white friends at a birthday party this weekend where it was mostly white people, and some of them have seen my Facebook post, and like so they wanted to talk about it. And obviously it wasn't the best place, but I used that analogy to them, and there was no response to it. There was no, you know what I mean? There wasn't like, "Oh, well, you know, yeah, prostate cancer
more
matters
important.
more, or all cancer matters more." Because no,
Yeah.
that's not the case. And to certain, that's what I mean. Like, because I think there's such a lack of diversity maybe on that side of your family, like true
Uh-huh.
diversity. I mean, like very very mixed. Like I know, I mean that's not their fault, but I just mean because it doesn't affect them directly, it's
Yeah.
not as big of a factor for them to want to get educated. And so that's why I think
Yeah.
Nicolette just feels like she's kind of the lone trooper in the family, and if she doesn't bring attention to it, then who else will?
Right.
Because otherwise it's just business as usual. You guys just go on, acting like everything is fine, when inside she feels like she doesn't have people who care about, you know what I mean, her future
Right.
babies, or even her and her other side, of, her Simone side of her family, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
just wanted to explain, because I know it can come off like, when she's like, well, that's your side of the family is just racist. And I know that I'm sure not everyone, you know what I mean, is racist, but they just have to understand that, that it's 2016 and racism isn't like lynching and, saying
Yeah.
it isn't saying white power. It's operating in this system like it's working equally for everyone, when it's so clear that it's not. No matter how many
Right.
ways you dice it, that it's so clear that it is not equal for everyone. And so I don't think there's
Right.
anything wrong with calling that out, but it makes people feel uncomfortable to know that they have been, you know what I mean, contributing to it.
Yeah.
But it's not their fault, because you know what I mean, if they can just realize it, and I think that's what Nick wants, is that for them to somehow realize it and show their
Yeah.
support. And I don't even think show their support, and they don't have to be, bombard people's Facebooks with posts or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But I just think that having that self-realization, and when having conversations with Nicolette, having that empathy and realizing, having some kind of self-realization is like super important, and would make her feel like a lot better about,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, being around those people.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so I don't know.
thank you.
I just
I
wanted to say that
appreciate
because
that.
I hear her talking and I feel frustrated for her too. But I also like, I don't want you to feel like we're, coming down super hard on you or anything.
No, and thank you for understanding. Again, before she got more involved, and it's reading good articles like that
Yeah.
that help explain better.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, the light goes on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the times it takes you, and it helps that the author of the article is like a white person. You know what I mean? Because
well, just well written.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Well, honey, I have to say I'm sorry that I know all these things that are going on right now. She said how it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you've had to.
No, it's okay.
face
Like
it.
I don't mind. I just like, because I do care that, I love Nicolette and I love you as like her mom, and like if there like an issue like this that's
Same.
really important to us, I just feel like if I actually care about you, I care about you enough to like, explain why we feel the way we feel, or you know what I mean, just try to help you
Yes.
better understand.
Well, I
So
appreciate it
Yeah.
a lot because I just kept on just saying, no, I didn't. My parents never said racist remarks. They
no,
didn't,
I know for sure.
So it was in me to want to fight
Yeah.
hearing that
Yeah.
because, and of course, I love my family.
I know for
and
sure. Yeah, I know.
So
I hear you.
well,
I hear you. Just because I've grown up around predominantly like white people my whole life, as far as just like you know, half of my friends have been white my whole life, and then once I got into college, a majority of my friends are white. But it's hard, like when you truly feel like those people care about you, but then when something like this comes up, when you think, oh yeah, they'd have my back, you know, I like grew up with that person, and then you see they don't actually have your back. It's like at first you want to feel really hostile and say, you know, well, you're ignorant as hell, and I don't really want to have to deal with you. But then you have to like think like, okay, well, let me just help them better understand, and maybe that will help. So I just hope
Yeah,
we can
and
do
I hope
that.
that's the case.
Yeah, I hope we can do that with you guys. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
but yeah, sorry for talking your ear off. But here's Nicolette back.
No,